Hi, I'm going to show you how to make a mushroom secret pocket necklace today. First, gather all of your materials and cut out the paper templates. I'm making a red mushroom, so I have the red felt for the mushroom cap and the ecru felt for the stem. Let's get started. Trace the paper templates onto the felt using the fabric marker. Trace 2 stem pieces onto the ecru. Then, trace 2 cap pieces onto the red. Transfer the markings onto the cap pieces as well. Oh, and don't forget to trace 3 spot pieces onto the ecru. Next, cut out all the pieces that you traced. Now it's time to attach the spots to the cap. The spots are sewn on with simple straight stitches. Stack the spot onto the cap, and then pull the needle from back to front, and then front to back. And that's it. You're going to do that 2 more times to sew on the other spots. And just a note here that all of the sewing on this project is done with 2 plies of embroidery floss, except when you're attaching the cord later on. Once you've sewn all 3 spots on, take a few small stitches in place at the back of the cap piece. Just go halfway through the felt layer so it doesn't show through to the front. When you've done that, snip the end. Now sew the cap together. Stack the embellished cap piece on top of the other one with the spots facing out. You're going to whip stitch the 2 pieces together. Start at one of the bottom markings of the cap and insert your needle from back to front through the top layer of felt only to hide the knot. Then, insert your needle through both layers of felt from back to front and pull it through. You're going to be sewing upwards towards the top of the cap, just going from back to front and back to front. Keep whip stitching like this until you reach the top marking on the cap. Once you reach the top, take a few stitches in place. Then pull your needle through the previous stitches and snip off the end. Sew the other side of the cap together in the same manner by starting at the bottom markings and whip stitching up to the top markings. The stem is also sewn with a whip stitch. Stack both stem pieces on top of one another. Start whip stitching at a top corner. Make sure to start by just going through the top layer of felt to hide your knot. Then whip stitch by sewing from back to front through both layers around the entire curved side of the seam. Leave the top flat edge of the stem unsewn. Once you get to the opposite top corner, stitch in place a few times, and then run your needle through the loops of the previous stitches and snip the end of the thread. Now you can see the stem is a little pocket. It's time to attach the cord. This time you'll be using all 6 strands of embroidery floss. Cut a 25-inch length of embroidery floss and thread it onto a needle. Tie a knot at one end. This is a quilter's knot, and we have a video showing how to do it on our video page. You're going to insert the needle from the inside top edge of the stem and pull it through the side. This is going to hide the knot inside of the stem. Then, insert the needle from outside to inside of the opposite corner. Remove the needle and tie a few knots at this end. Pull up the cord and tuck the ends inside. And now the cord is attached. All of the sewing is done, and now it's time to assemble the necklace. Open up the mushroom cap a bit, and open up the top opening, and then grab the top loop of the cord. Place the loop of the cord through the bottom of the cap and then try and get it through the top. could be a little tricky, so I used the blunt end of my needle to get it through. Once it's pulled out, pull the cord all the way through and arrange everything so the cap sits neatly on top of the stem. And now to see it in action, pull up the cap, put your treasure in the pocket, and then pull the cap back down to hide the pocket. You're all done.